You ever see a rookie do something so bold, so technically perfect, that even the salty old vets on the sideline just stand there blinking like they've seen a ghost? Well, that's exactly what went down at Brown's training camp this week, when Shedeur Sanders dropped a deep sideline dime that had veteran defenders and coaches looking at each other like, did he really just do that? Because he did, and he's not stopping. In this video, we're diving into the throw that stunned a locker room, shook the quarterback depth chart, and might have just cemented Shedeur Sanders as the next big thing in Cleveland. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. So grab a seat and let's talk about how one play in practice just rewrote the Browns quarterback conversation and why Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel are suddenly checking their rear-view mirrors a lot more often. Let's set the scene. It's a high-rep red zone session during day 5 of Browns camp. The sun's brutal. Tempers are short. Guys are rotating fast. The defense has already forced 2 near picks off Dillon Gabriel, and everyone's starting to sag. Enter Shedeur Sanders. He lines up with the twos, but scans like he's been running this offense for 5 years. Denzel Ward's on the sideline, arms crossed, watching closely. A few veterans are off to the side joking about rookie nerves, until they aren't, because then Shedeur takes the snap, fakes the handoff like he's been doing it since Pop Warner, and rolls outright. The pocket collapses. The safety bites down. And just like that, Sanders launches a 35-yard frozen rope, on the move, over the outstretched fingertips of the corner, and drops it into the bucket for a touchdown. Clean, perfect trajectory. I discipline like a vet, and as the ball hits the receiver's hands, the sideline erupts. Even Myles Garrett, who's not exactly known for gushing over rookies, nods quietly. One coach just mutters, "That's different," because it was. Now here's the thing. In most camps, one good throw might get you a pat on the helmet and a clip on the team Twitter page. But in Cleveland, this isn't just any camp. This is a pressure cooker. Garrett's got a $160 million extension and wants a Super Bowl now. The offense ranked last in the league last season, and there's a quarterback logjam with way too many names and not enough chairs. But that throw, that wasn't just a highlight. It was a moment. After practice, insiders say the tone shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't just the receivers chirping for more reps with Shedeur. It was defensive players saying, "Hey, we might actually have something here." It was assistant coaches going back to the film room and slowing that clip down frame by frame. And most notably, it was one veteran QB, not saying names, who reportedly left the field early, clearly frustrated by the crowd reaction. Because that's what happens when a rookie goes from potential to problem for the depth chart. Now, here's where things get juicy. Following that practice, Sanders was spotted getting reps with more first-team skill players. Not a full promotion yet, but the doors are creaking open. Meanwhile, the quarterback competition that was supposed to be a polite little formality has turned into a straight-up turf war. Joe Flacco still gets the media respect, and Dillon Gabriel was a higher draft pick. But neither of them have done what Shedeur did that day. Neither have sparked the sideline. Neither have made the locker room buzz. And look, the Browns coaching staff is trying to play it cool. Stefanski told reporters there is no rush, and everyone's getting a fair look. But actions speak louder than pressers. Because when the rookie starts calling out protections at the line and completing 80% of his reps in 7-on-7s, people notice. When the backup linebackers start saying, "That kid might be next unprompted," that's more than hype. That's internal pressure mounting. The locker room isn't dumb. Players know who the real gamers are. And of course, you can't talk about Shedeur without talking about the machine behind him. We're talking the Prime effect. The endorsements, the millions of followers, the camera crews. There's no escaping the spectacle. And yes, it makes some people uncomfortable. Some veterans grumble that he hasn't earned it yet. Others question if he's more influencer than quarterback. But then he steps onto the field and does stuff like that throw. That's the difference. Shedeur doesn't need to prove he's flashy. He needs to prove he's real. And he's doing it, one rep at a time. For ownership, that's a dream. a rookie who sells jerseys, puts butts in seats, and might win games? That's the trifecta. The Browns are fully bought in from a business standpoint, but the football side, they're still catching up emotionally. Because Shedeur isn't following the old script. He's writing his own. So where does this leave guys like Flacco and Gabriel? Uncomfortable. Gabriel, in particular, was supposed to be the developmental guy, the project with upside. But every time he overthrows a curl route or hesitates on a read, Shedeur's shadow looms larger. He can't afford to be meh anymore. And Flacco? He's steady. He's smart. But he's also slow. And with the way the Browns want to push tempo, extend plays, and create chunk yards, the ceiling feels limited. Multiple insiders have hinted that if Shedeur keeps stacking days like this, the conversation could shift fast. Forget QB3 duties. Forget clipboard holding. We're talking real, live snaps in preseason, and possibly week 1 if the momentum holds. Let's not sugarcoat it. Cleveland is a franchise that has not handled quarterback transitions gracefully. We've seen top picks flop, coaching turnover destroy chemistry, and public opinion swing like a wrecking ball. But this time feels different. This time, there's a sense that if the Browns don't give Shedeur a shot, they might regret it, not just from a talent perspective, but from a team energy perspective. The offense feels different when he's out there. More urgent, more cohesive, more dangerous. And the league is watching. Scouts from 2 AFC rivals reportedly attended that practice. Not officially, of course, but let's just say there were consultants wearing team polos with clipboards nearby. They see the rise happening. So what's next? If Shedeur keeps hitting throws like the one that stunned the sideline, this won't be a battle. It'll be a coronation. But the pressure is real. Preseason reps are coming. Every decision will be scrutinized. Every interception will be magnified. Every stare from a veteran will carry weight. Still, one thing is clear. The Browns aren't just trying to find a quarterback. They're trying to find a leader. And if Shedeur Sanders keeps stacking days, commanding the huddle, and dropping dimes like the one that stopped a veteran corner mid-stride, then this rookie might just be the leader Cleveland didn't know it was ready for. The NFL better be paying attention. Because that throw, that was just the beginning. Let's rewind the clock just a bit. A few weeks ago, no one expected Shedeur Sanders to be where he is now. He was supposed to be the project quarterback, the kid with famous bloodlines, a 5th-round draft story, and some fun college tapes, sure, but not someone who would seriously challenge the starting role out of the gate. The plan was to ease him in slowly, tuck him behind Flacco and Gabriel, let him soak up the playbook in silence while the grown-ups played. But then he stepped onto the practice field. From the very first snaps, it wasn't just that Sanders was competent. He was commanding. Coaches noticed how quickly he processed information. He didn't just know the play. He understood the why behind the route concepts. He asked the right questions in film sessions. He adjusted protections at the line like someone who had already lived through a full NFL season. Teammates caught wind of that fast, and word started spreading. This wasn't just a kid with good power. He was showing signs of being that guy. And then came the reps, limited at first, sure. But when he got them, he made them count. Tight windows? No problem. Blitz pickup? Calm and clean. One drive during a red zone drill had the entire offense swarming him afterward, patting him on the helmet. And that wasn't even the now famous sideline throw, the one that dropped jaws, spun heads, and basically became folklore overnight. After that throw, everything shifted. It wasn't just whispers anymore. Now it was murmurs in the press tent. Should he start? Why isn't he getting more reps? Is he already better than Gabriel? The buzz grew into something the Browns couldn't ignore, no matter how much they tried to temper expectations. And yet, here's the tricky part. This is the NFL. No one, especially not in Cleveland, is just handed the keys to the franchise. Not even if your dad is prime time. There are veterans with pride. There are front office decisions to protect. There's draft capital invested in other quarterbacks. And there's that ever-looming paranoia that pushing a rookie too soon will backfire and cost the team everything. But Shedeur isn't just riding a wave of social media hype. He's actively dismantling every excuse the team has not to start him. Every single time he steps under center, he shows something new, whether it's patience in the pocket, clever pre-snap manipulation, or pure zip on a sideline out. It's not luck. It's control. It's poise. And it's starting to make the guys ahead of him nervous. Inside the locker room, you can feel the tension building. Joe Flacco isn't saying much publicly, but privately, his body language has changed. He's been sharper in practices since Sanders started surging, more locked in. Dylan Gabriel, meanwhile, is trying to hold on to his edge. He was supposed to be the developmental guy, the future face if everything went right. But with Shedeur looking more game-ready each day, Gabriel's leash is shorter than ever. And the coaching staff? They're walking a tightrope. On one hand, they have to respect the veterans. On the other, the pressure from upstairs is mounting. Ownership sees the numbers. Ticket sales climbing, jersey pre-orders flying off shelves, social media metrics spiking every time Shedeur's name trends. This isn't just a football decision anymore. It's a business decision. And business, for once in Cleveland, is booming. But with that boom comes risk. If Sanders starts and struggles, it won't just be a bad game. It'll be a referendum. Pundits will pounce. Doubters will reemerge. The critics who've been waiting to say, "We told you so," will crawl out of the woodwork. The stakes aren't just high, they're seismic. What makes this story more compelling is the way Shedeur handles it all. He doesn't flinch when reporters needle him with subtle digs. He doesn't bite when veterans try to test his confidence with cold shoulders or tougher defensive looks in practice. He just locks in. Head down, helmet on, mouth shut. And it's working. Even defensive players who are naturally skeptical of rookie QBs are starting to come around. You hear in the little things, like a linebacker saying he's smart after a red zone drill or a safety shaking his head and muttering, that kid's got touch after a back corner fade lands perfectly in stride. Respect is earned, not given, and Shedeur is collecting it one rep at a time. Behind the scenes, there's a growing sense that the only thing standing between Shedeur and the starting job is the idea that it's too soon. But what does too soon really mean anymore? The league isn't what it was even 5 years ago. Quarterbacks aren't sitting on the bench for 3 years like they used to. The guys who can play, they play. And the guys who can't, they fade out fast. The Browns, historically, have never quite gotten this balance right. They've either thrown rookies into the fire with no help or clung to mediocre veterans out of fear. But this moment, this feels like something different. The team has pieces. The defense is elite. The offensive line, while banged up, is better than what Shedeur had in college. The scheme is quarterback-friendly. If there were ever a time to hand the reins to a rookie with high upside, this might be it. Still, it's not just about football. It's about identity. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is redefining what it means to be a young quarterback in this league. He's media-trained but unfiltered. He's confident but not reckless. He's talented, marketable, and just polished enough to make you believe he could actually pull this off. The fans are already picking sides. Some want the sure hand of Flacco, or the presumed upside of Gabriel. Others are all in on Shedeur, wearing his college gear to camp, yelling his name after every rep, flooding message board with calls to bench the old guard. That division isn't just noise. It's reflective of a larger shift happening across the NFL. Rookies aren't just rookies anymore. They're brands. They're marketing engines. And they're expected to perform now, not 2 years from now. Every preseason game will be a referendum. Every snap, every throw, every misstep or magic moment. It's all under the microscope. The Browns aren't just evaluating Shedeur's talent. They're measuring the temperature of the fan base. They're watching jersey sales. They're reading the media tea leaves. Every move from here on out is strategic. And that makes this camp, this preseason, this moment in Browns history, unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Shedeur Sanders has gone from overlooked draft pick to quarterback chaos agent in the span of weeks. And it's only getting louder. Whatever happens next, one thing is clear. He's not just fighting for a job. He's forcing a decision. And if the Browns wait too long to make it, the fans, and maybe the locker room, might make it for them. Every day Shedeur Sanders steps onto the Browns' practice field, he rewrites the narrative the front office thought it was telling. This was supposed to be a controlled quarterback competition, a classic NFL plotline. Seasoned vets, plucky rookies, coaches evaluating the film. But that plan, it's been incinerated by a rookie who refuses to act like one. And now, the entire team is feeling it. It's in the way the wide receivers lean in during huddles when Shedeur is taking snaps. The way linemen get a half step quicker off the ball when he's under center. It's subtle, but it's real. Chemistry doesn't lie. You can't fake leadership. And Sanders, for all the debates and distractions swirling around him, just gets it. But what's wild isn't just how well he's performing. It's how calmly he's doing it under a magnifying glass the size of First Energy Stadium. Every throw he makes is clipped and shared. Every mistake is replayed and dissected. Every answer in a press conference becomes a headline. And yet he doesn't flinch. You'd expect a fifth-round rookie suddenly in the middle of a quarterback controversy to get a little rattled, especially when the locker room politics start heating up, which they absolutely are. Veterans have egos. Coaches have allegiances. Everyone's got something to prove. But Shedeur, he just keeps going through his progressions, both on and off the field. That throw he made in the last scrimmage, the off-platform bullet between two defenders, placed exactly where only his receiver could get it. That wasn't luck. That was muscle memory, preparation, the product of hours spent breaking down coverages on film and perfecting footwork when no one's watching. And the defense? They're not going easy on him. In fact, if anything, they're making it harder, throwing disguised coverages, blitzing from unusual angles, testing his pocket presence, his patience, his confidence. But he's standing tall, not just surviving, responding. You can tell when a defense respects a quarterback, even a young one. And slowly, even the skeptics on that side of the ball are starting to come around. Still, let's not pretend this is all clean and easy. The tension around the quarterback room is real. You can feel it between reps. You can see it in the way Dylan Gabriel lingers a little longer after his turn, hoping for another shot to prove he's still in the race. You can sense it in Joe Flacco's narrowed eyes as he watches from behind the line of scrimmage. And Pickett? Well, he's been sidelined with injury, but that hasn't stopped him from making his presence known. Rumors swirl about private meetings, QB1, talk behind closed doors, and informal support from some influential figures in the coaching staff. There's a feeling that Pickett was always the plan. He was brought in for a reason. And Sanders? He's the disruption. But football doesn't care about plans. It cares about execution. The Browns are discovering that in real time. The fans have certainly figured it out. Every open practice feels like a Shedeur Sanders rally. Kids yelling his name. Parents wearing freshly bought Sanders jerseys. It's a movement, organic, unforced, and completely unplanned by the franchise's marketing team. And with every chant, the pressure mounts. Because while some fans are fully on board, others are uneasy. They want to believe. They like Sanders. But they've seen this movie before. A rookie QB getting fast-tracked, only to stumble, get benched, and never recover. In Cleveland, quarterback trauma runs deep. The jersey list of failed starters is long, and no one wants to see Shedeur's name added to it. But here's the thing. Sanders isn't trying to follow the old path. He's building his own. He's not brash in the way you'd expect. He's not trying to silence doubters on Twitter or posture impressors. His confidence is quieter, sharper. Less look at me, more you'll see. The coaching staff? They're split. Some love what he brings. The poise, the presence, the spark. Others fear the backlash if they crown him too soon. What happens if he falters? What happens if the locker room splinters? What happens if you bench Pickett and it blows up? But maybe the better question is, what happens if you don't start Shedeur? What happens if you ignore what the tape shows, what the players feel, what the energy says? What happens if you bury the momentum to play it safe? That's a different kind of gamble, and it might be even riskier. There's also the branding machine to consider. The NFL isn't blind to what Shedeur represents. He's not just a quarterback. He's a cultural moment. The cameras follow him not because of nepotism, but because he delivers. The NFL, a league constantly chasing the next superstar, sees dollar signs and global engagement when Shedeur is in the spotlight. The Browns, for once, have a player who makes them relevant in markets beyond Ohio. London fans know his name. College football loyalists still ride for him. Social media eats up everything he posts. And whether the franchise admits it or not, that changes things. Now, imagine this story. Shedeur Sanders, overlooked in the draft, wins a starting job and leads the Browns to their first playoff win in decades. The NFL salivates at that narrative. The marketing writes itself. The movie rights practically sell before the final whistle. Of course, that's the dream. The reality is far murkier. He's still a rookie. He's still learning the speed of the game. There are throws he misses, reads he gets wrong, moments when the coaching staff clearly has to reel him back in. But the key difference is this. When he gets it wrong, he doesn't spiral. He absorbs. He corrects. He adapts. That's what's so unnerving for the defense, for the veterans, even for the coaches. He's not peaking. He's climbing every day. So now, as the preseason opener looms, the Browns find themselves at crossroads. Do they start the veteran and play it safe? Do they roll the dice on the rookie and ride the wave? Or do they try to split the difference? Give him a few drives here and there, see how it goes, delay the decision? Whatever they choose, the clock is ticking. If Shedeur Sanders gets a nod and delivers even a hint of what he's shown in practice, there's no going back. The city will be his. The team will have to follow. And the rest of the league? They'll be put on notice. He's not here for a cameo. He's not interested in waiting his turn. He's ready now, and he's about to prove it.